Anthony, be nice. Oh, I had to fix it. I know. Someone shut it off. What?
Do you like writing that way sideways?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's easier. It's less space. I used to write this way, but then I have to move this, like over here in the way, and then it's weird. It's actually worse. It's just going to be turned. It's the same thing. Soon. I need to make the seating chart, but I haven't had time. Well, Halloween decorations and stuff like that. So. No, I put Thanksgiving. I put like pumpkins and like scarecrows. And no, I don't decorate for Christmas until Thanksgiving week. All right, gentlemen, it's gonna take us a while. These notes are a little bit more difficult, so we need to pay attention. We're still gonna use all of the words we used yesterday, right? So the words for adding, subtracting, multiplying, the words for equal sign, all of that stuff is getting used today as well. So you're still going to underline or highlight keywords in our notes, and then you're going to do a couple problems for homework. Got it? Ready? Let's do this. I debated turning this, but then it has to sit like right here. And then my notebook, I did debate it, guys. Because the cord is too short. That's the other problem. Because then the cord plugs in right here, and I'd have to pull that further. It might work. We could try it later. A bigger desk? No. That one has wheels. Because I don't want to be right in front of you. Why are we still talking? 11:08. How many are coming today? You don't have to come. Jonathan, do I have your test? I do? Did you put it in the wrong period? Where'd you put it? He didn't give it to you? I think you put it in the wrong period because I don't have a score for you. So before you leave today, you're going to find where you put it. It's not in third and it's not in fifth, so maybe it's in sixth. Okay, because I don't have a score for you. And I double checked it. Did we see our grades or no? No? Okay. We'll talk about them later if we need to. Just a little heads up. Some of your grades are worse than your test grade. Should that be the case? No. Your test grade should not be higher than your overall grade. If your test grade is higher than your overall grade, that means you're not doing homework, which means you're being lazy. So right now I have a couple kids who had D's in test, okay? D in a test means you're trying, you just don't really get it. You may fail here and there, whatever, right? It's fine. But they have an F in homework, so guess what their grade is? It's an F. And in reality, they should have at least a D, and they could possibly have a C if they did all their homework. Do you understand the difference? So So don't be lazy. Your test grade should never be higher than your overall grade. If it is, that's just lazy right there. Understood? Because that's a 60% category, and the other one's only 20%. You're proud of being lazy? I'm worried about you in life. You're what? That's special right there. Create quadratic equations. What page, 77? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ready? Here we go. The example, there's no words to write because it's going straight into examples. We wrote all the words yesterday, right? So we're just going to go straight into examples, and here we go. It says the length. Practice writing without looking. The length of a photograph is 3 centimeters. Less than twice the width. The length of a photograph is 3 centimeters less than twice the width. Good? Okay. The area is 77 centimeters squared. Find the dimensions of the photograph. How many of you actually wrote that without looking? Good job. All right, ready to underline and highlight? Here we go. The length of a photograph is 3 centimeters less than twice the width. In that first sentence, what do we know, or what do we care about? Let me start you off at the very beginning. Do we care about the word the? No. Do we care about length? Yeah, we do. We need to know. I'm going to underline it, and I'll circle the other things that might be. The length of a photograph, do I care about of a photograph? No. Is. Do we care about is? Yeah. Why? What does is represent? Equal. Is 3 centimeters. Do we care about that? Yeah. Okay. Less than twice. I just wrote it myself. I know. Hold on. What else do I need? Less than twice width. My eyes red again. No? Can you see it? What happens? All right, we good? Let's just deal with this first sentence right now before we keep going. So the length is 3 centimeters less than twice width. So length is going to represent by what? L. Is equal. 3 centimeters is just 3. Less than is what? Subtract. Twice is 2. Multiplying with what? Which is what? W. Very good. Now the only thing is yesterday I learned that less than is called a turnaround word. And I said it changes the what? The order. So instead of writing 3 minus 2W, we're going to write 2W minus 3. Do you understand? So less than changes the order. 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 Instead of 3 minus 2W, it becomes 2W minus 3. Yes? So I'm going to write that right now. So L equals 2W minus 3. Good? That's the first sentence. Okay, second sentence. The area is 77 centimeters squared. The area is 77 centimeters squared. What do I care about here? Area is 77 centimeters squared. So how do I write that? Area equals 77 centimeters squared. Okay, find the dimensions of the photograph. Now let's talk about it. In the very beginning it said we have a photograph. Photographs are what shape? Rectangles. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. So I don't know about you, but I like to see things instead of just trying to think about it in my head. So I have a rectangle. Now, when I have a rectangle, where's the length of the rectangle? Is it on the bottom or the side or where? It's on the bottom. Length is on the bottom. So I know, and you can watch this part, this is length and this is width, correct? Does that make sense? And the area, we're talking area, so area of a rectangle, how do you find that? Just length times width. Make sense? Okay, so I know it's length times width. Well, width, I don't know what that is, but length, I know is equal to what? 2w minus 3. Does that make sense? They're telling me my length is 2w minus 3. They're not telling me what width is, and they're telling me the area is 77. So, I want you to watch. We're just going to watch. If area equals length times width, and area is equal to 77, 77 equals, and L is equal to 2w minus 3, and w is just w. Does that make sense? Okay? So go ahead and write that down, and then we're going to have to solve this. What property do you see? What property? I see subtraction. No, it's not subtraction. It's not a property. What property is it? Distributive property. So what are we distributing? The w. So we get 77 equals, what do we get when we multiply? 2w squared minus 3w. Now what? Why am I going to subtract 77? Because you want it to equal to 0 and you're trying to solve it. So to equal to 0, we need to subtract 77 from both sides. And 0 equals 2w squared minus 3w minus 77. And then what do I do? You can do a quadratic formula or you can factor. I don't want to complete the square only because why? B is not even and A is equal to 2. That's a little bit more work than I want to deal with. So I have two choices. I can factor or I can use quadratic formula. I don't care which way you do it. Just go do it right now. Anthony, stop. How many of you factored? How many use quadratic formula? Some of you are waiting for me to do it, I know. Okay, I'm going to do both ways. All right, so I'm going to factor first because that's easy. In order to factor, I need to multiply a times c, which is negative 154. On the bottom is negative 3. My two side numbers are negative 14 and positive 11. Yes? Okay, I put it in my box. So 2w squared minus 14w plus 11w minus 77. 2w squared and negative 11w have a w in common. The negative 14 and the negative 77 have a negative 7 in common. Oops, negative. The 2w squared and the 14w have a 2w. The negative 11 and negative 77 is negative 11. It's positive 11. Sorry, I can't read my writing. There we go. So I get 2w plus 11 and w minus 7 equals 0. I break it up into two equations, so I get 2w plus 11 equals 0 and w minus 7 equals 0, so w is 7. Over here, we get 2w equals a negative 11 and w is equal to negative 11 over 2. Yes? If you use quadratic formula, should you have the same answers? Yeah, if you don't have the same answers, you did something wrong. On the other side, I'm going to use quad formula. Do I care how you solve it? No. Do I care that you get it right? Yeah, that's it. Ready? Here we go. All right, in the first parenthesis is going to be a negative 3, then a negative 3, then a 2, then a negative 77, and then positive 2. So when I multiply, I get x equals positive 3 plus or minus radical 9 plus 616 all over 4. Yes? Okay. Then we get x equals 3 plus or minus radical 625 over 4. I always like to see if the square root works, because if it's a perfect square root, like the square root of 25, then I can plug it in the calculator. The square root of 625 is a perfect square root. It's x equals 3 plus or minus 25 over 4. From here, you're going to break it up into how many answers? 2. So 3 plus 25 over 4 and 3 minus 25 over 4. I get negative 22 over 4, which reduces to negative 11 over 2. And over here, I get 28 over 4, which reduces to 7. Same answers, yes? Okay, now let's talk about this. We're talking width, correct? We solved for w, which is width. Now, if we're solving for w, which is width, can your width be negative? So guess what's not your answer? The negative one. What is my answer? It's 7. But I'm not done, because it wants to know what are the dimensions of the photograph. So guess what I'm going to do with 7? I need to go plug it in. So I'm going to go back to the top really quick. This isn't the new part, right? This is all the old part. The new part's at the top. So I'm going to go back to the top. I'm going to pick a different color so you can see it. We need to plug in. Well, I know W is just 7 centimeters. That's what I just solved for, correct? Now, L is equal to 2 times 7 minus 3. Why is it times 7? Because it's W and W is 7. So that's 14 minus 3. So I know my length is how much? How much is length? 11 what? Centimeters. So my width is 7 and my length is 11. Question? Sorry. You good? Turn the page when you're ready. Ready? Here we go. A rectangular deck. What is a deck? Anyone know? It's kind of like, it's like a patio, yeah. I have a back deck. It's usually made of wood. It usually is connected to the back door. It's very common in the Midwest. Let's see. This is like crazy extravagant. Like, here's a crazy one. No, that's not my house. Mine has a top, but it looks like that. Like, they're connected to the back doors. They usually are made of wood. Sometimes they're often like its own world. So these are back decks. Got it? Made sense? Okay. No, mine is getting redone soon. Fingers crossed. At least an hour. And if you leave early, you can't make up your test. Okay. A rectangular deck. For a recreation center is 21 feet long by 20 feet wide. Its area is halved by subtracting the same distance x from the length and width. What are the deck's new dimensions? Ready? All right, first sentence. Underline anything you think we need. Underline anything you think we need. I don't know, underline it. You by yourself first, without me. Without me first. Ready? First sentence, what did you underline? Rectangular. We need to know what we're talking about. What else? is 21 feet long by 20 feet wide. So let's draw a picture, because it makes everything better. Where's 21 feet at? On the bottom. Where's 20 feet at? On the side. Yes? All right, that's the first sentence. The second sentence says, I'm going to switch my color. Its area is halved by subtracting the same distance x from the length and the width. So let's start off. Its area is halved. What do we need to know? Area is halved. Okay? So I'm going to stop right there for a second, because it's actually two parts here. So it's saying your area. What is the area of a rectangle again? Length times width. What's the length here of this rectangle? 21. What's the width? 20. But we're saying it's being halved. What does that mean? Which means multiply by a half. Right? Is that the same thing? Okay. Just want to state that before we keep going. Okay, I'm going to switch my colors again. So now it says it's halved by subtracting the same distance x from the length and the width. What do we care about there? Subtracting distance x. You can put distance or just x. From where? From length and width. Right? Okay, now I want you to stop and I want you to think and I want you to look up here, because I'm going to explain it as easy as I can. Okay. We're going to pretend that my measuring tape is 21 feet. Its reality is 21 inches, right? So we're going to pretend this is 21 feet. And it's saying we're cutting the area, so it's 20 by 21, right? We know it's like an inch difference. We're cutting the area by subtracting a piece, which means this piece is getting what? It's getting smaller. So let's pretend I'm subtracting 5, right? So if I subtract 5 from 21, it becomes what? 16. But if I subtract it from 20, it becomes 15. Do you see that's subtracting the same distance? So whatever I'm subtracting is from both. It's not just from one. It's from one from the other and one from the other, like that, right? So what's happening is this picture inside, I'm taking away x, but I'm also taking away x. Okay? And it's getting smaller on the inside. Now, I don't really care what x is right now at this point, and the picture looks a little different. You're thinking, but if this is x, so is this, right? Well, if x is 10, that doesn't mean I'm subtracting 10 from each side. It means I'm subtracting 10 from both pieces to make it smaller this way, right? It's still a rectangle. I want to make it this way and this way. Okay? Do you understand that? Which is why it's getting smaller both sides. So if it's 10, I really do 5 feet over here, or 5 feet and 5 feet, make it smaller. 5 feet, make it smaller. Okay? Do you understand that? So if I'm looking at that, what's the new dimensions of that new rectangle? You started with what? 20, 21. And now you're subtracting x. So what is that new dimension? Do I know what x is? Nope. Am I going to find it? Yep. Okay. So what's the width? 20 what? 20 minus x. It's the same idea, correct? We good? Okay. Now I want you to think about this. We're now talking about a new rectangle, correct? It's no longer the big one, it's now the small one. The new rectangle still has area equals length times width. Yes? Now area, we know, is being cut in what? Half. So isn't this my area? Okay. So I'm going to write that for what letter? A, L, or W? It's for A. So over here, A, it's going to be 21 times 20 times 1/2 equals. What's my length of my new rectangle? 21 minus x. What's my width of my new rectangle? 20 minus x. Yes? God bless you. You see where that's coming from, correct? Okay, so it's 21 times 20 times 1/2. To what? 210. Equals, what do I do over here? Can't combine them. What property is it? So how do I distribute two binomials? Lord, no. You need a what? You need a box. Where do the numbers go? On the outside or the inside? Outside. So 21 and negative x, 20 and a negative x. Go multiply for me, please. I think it's like an irritation. Like an allergy. All right, what do we get when we multiply 21 and 20? 420. 21 and negative x. Negative 21x. Negative x and 20. Negative 20x. And negative x and negative x. Positive x squared. So this becomes x squared minus 20x minus 21x plus 420. I just rewrote it differently so it was a little easier to find, right? Now it becomes x squared minus 41x plus 420. Yeah? Don't sound like you're all so excited out there. Only one person, two people know what I'm doing. Oh, that's from unit 1, if you don't remember. Okay, now what? Subtract what? 210, because you need it to equal what? 0, otherwise you can't solve it. So that's 0. 0 equals x squared minus 41x plus 210. Now, guess what? Either factor or quadratic. Why are you not completing the square? Because b is not even. You can do it, just really ugly, and I wouldn't recommend it. So go pick a method and go solve it. Who factored? 4 of you, 5 of you factored this time, all right. All right, here we go. Let's factor. You want to factor first or use quad formula? It doesn't matter. I'm doing both. What do you want to do first? Let's factor. Let's get it over with. Multiplying, we get 210 on the top. We get negative 41 on the bottom. We get negative 6 and negative 35. Yeah? All right. In my box, I get x squared minus 6x minus 35x plus 210. I ate them all, yeah? Where's Sundays? Can I have a Kit Kat? No. Those are mine. By x squared and negative 35x is x. Negative 6 and 210 is a negative 6. X squared and negative x, 6x is x. And negative 35 and 210 is a negative 35. So we're going to get x minus 6 and x minus 35, and it's equal to 0. So we get x minus 6 is equal to 0, and x minus 35 equals 0. So x is 35, and x is 6, right? Okay, we're going to leave it there for now. I'm going to go use quad formula. I'm going to do this super fast, because I don't want to spend all day doing quad formula. 4 times 1 times 210, all over 2 times 1. Yes? All right, so we get x equals 41 plus or minus radical 1681 minus 840, all over 2. You have a calculator, so you should have been able to solve that. So x is equal to 41 plus or minus radical 841 over 2. And if I plug it in the calculator, I know it takes the perfect square root, and it's 29. And then I break it up into 2 answers, so I get 41 plus 29 over 2, which is x is equal to 35. And over here I get 41 minus 29 over 2, so x is 6. Either way, we get the same answers, yes? We'll let it right. Good. Okay, now let's talk about it. They're both positive, so that's not helping me. But if I go back to the top, what does the top say? What is my width or my length? What is it? Length is equal to, what's the new one? 21 minus x, okay? Now, we just found that x is 35 and x is 6. Now, both of them can't work. If my length equals 21 minus 35, because I use this one, correct? I get length is equal to negative 14. Can you have a negative 14 in length? No, which is why 35 is not my answer. It is 6, but if I plug it in, remember you have to find the new dimensions. So if I plug in 6, I'm going to get length equals 21 minus 6. So length is equal to what? 21 minus 6, y'all. 15 what? Feet. And the width is equal to 20 minus 6, which is what? 14 feet. Your new dimensions are 15 by 14.